Do you love Batman?
Do you love Frasier?
Do you love Seinfeld?
Do you love Dr. Seuss?
Do you love James Bond?
Do you love Captain America?
Oh, hell, do you just love everything that's nerd-related?
I know I do.
Well, you should come on over to a Nerd's World podcast and listen to us, Justin and Andrew, talk everything that's nerd.
Yeah, every 2 weeks, we delve into some random topic that we choose at the end of each episode, and we tell you the whole history of it, or as much as we feel the need to write down, our history of it, and our favorite things about it.
So come on over to a Nerd's World,
wherever you listen to podcasts.
Welcome, everyone, to Pod and Gore, your one-stop shop for everything horror. Now here's your hosts, Justin and Brandon. Take it away, boys.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pod and Gore. My name is Justin.
And my name is Brandon.
I'm so happy and excited to be back. We're doing our first ever technical movie review.
Yeah, this will be interesting because I don't have a reviewer's bone in my body. Like, I don't do...
You will by the end of this show.
Yeah, right. Well, you know, I'm
if not two.
Right. I'm not as critical as you are. I don't
Sure.
pick up on those kind of things. And so the idea of doing a review was kind of intimidating at first because, like, you listen to people talk about reviews and they're like... I'm like, I'm not that smart. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you know?
But that's why I'm here.
Oh, so
I did this for almost 4 years on my old show.
You're here because I don't want to do this alone.
That's right. And I needed a new show. So I've done this before. We're kind of changing it up a little bit from the way I used to, thank God. So
Shots
without
fired.
further ado, let's get into Brightburn.
All right, so Brightburn. I love this movie.
I did
this
too.
Movie, I kind of want to go see it again just because so much happened in such a short amount of time in such a rapid succession that, like, almost kind of like how with Halloween 2018, once it starts, Michael puts on the mask and then it just ramps. Like, you can barely catch your breath. It was almost like this in the same fashion of where once he kind of starts to get that little fucking smirky face and he starts to the realizations are coming, like, it is just nonstop.
And before we get too deep, we are going to try and do some non-spoilers for a little bit, but that's not going to last that long, I don't think, because there's a lot to dig into on this.
I didn't even think about doing spoileries.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, it's been a long day.
Yeah, so we'll get into it and then we'll go from there.
All right, so the concept of Brightburn is what if a child from another world crash landed on Earth, but instead of becoming a hero to mankind, he proved to be something far more sinister. With Brightburn, the visionary filmmaker of Guardians of the Galaxy and Slither presents a startling, subversive take on a radical new genre, superhero horror.
I love it.
Fuck yeah.
Everything I've been hoping for and more.
Oh, man. Superhero. I know, and I'm just looking up at that. I'm like, God, wouldn't that be super cool if they did, like...
Blackest Night.
Yeah, Blackest Night. Sorry.
Green Lantern with zombies.
Oh, yeah.
One day. Maybe one day.
But yeah, superhero horror. Giggity.
Yeah. It released on May 24th. It had a budget of between 6 to 12 million, and so far as of right before recording this, it has made 26.15 million worldwide.
Right.
Not groundbreaking numbers, but it's a horror movie,
No,
so they rarely do.
A lot, like, I kind of, like a theme that I kept coming across when watching videos and listening to other people's reviews on this, there was a lot of issues with this movie because it was originally supposed to be released November 30th of 2018. It was supposed to come out then, but, like, they... one thing I saw is, like, there was very little promotion for this movie.
Yeah.
It did a lot better than what was expected given the circumstances it was under. And I don't remember and I'm not going to
Try.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try because I don't care.
Fair enough.
But yeah, the movie was directed by David Yarovesky. I don't remember exactly what he's done, but I know that he's film director. He did Guardians of the Galaxy? What?
That's not right.
No. He's best known for Brightburn.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. Here, David Yarovesky. He's known for. He directed Brightburn. He directed The Hive. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy, but he was not really. What was that? I don't recognize the name. That's why Goth Ravager. He was Goth Ravager in that, but he hasn't done a lot. But he was known for Brightburn and this movie called The Hive.
Yeah, looking at his IMDb, it's a lot of
Very
video
scarce.
shorts, TV series, Team Unicorn.
Right.
Never heard of that.
Gild. He's got some upcoming things, but yeah, nothing that you like.
So this is his breakout thing.
Yeah, this is definitely a breakout thing, and which is weird because I've heard his name before, not just because of this, but I don't know if he was attached to something else or not. But yeah, his name wasn't like out of the blue for me. But yeah, he directed it. The screenplay was written by Brian Gunn and Mark Gunn, which is James Gunn brother and cousin. It was produced by James Gunn and Kenneth Huang. Huang?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Huang.
Sure.
And it was produced by Screen Gems and Stage 6 Films. But yeah, 90 minutes of just...
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a slow start. And it kind of needs to be because you need to have that... it's essentially Superman if he goes evil, and you need to have that connection of this kid and his home life. And I like, without getting into spoilers yet, I like the way it starts.
I do too.
Especially that very opening, because it gives you that, here's this scenario, and this is this world that he lives in.
Right. And it takes, like, the way it starts out, it really kind of sets up that, you can see why, with him crash landing essentially, and mom and dad can't conceive.
Right.
They've been trying to, they kind of, I'm sorry for the pause. Like, I was trying to think of the wording to do, but like they were so desperate for a child that like they kind of viewed it as like a sign almost. And so you kind of feel for them. And then you start to feel more because it's like
once things start to turn, you really start to go.
Elizabeth Banks is the mom. She did such a good job.
Yeah, I've seen her in a lot of stuff, TV, movies. This is probably her best performance that I can remember.
Well, because it adds that layer to it, to where it's like it's not just some mom with an adopted child. Like she really, treats him like he's her own. Right. And she goes to bat for him a lot.
Yeah. Much longer than she should.
Exactly. And so, the cast was good with Elizabeth Banks as Tori, the mother, Breyer. David Denman was Kyle Breyer, the dad. Yeah. I know him as Roy from The Office. Right. He's been on a few things. The kid's name was... Jackson A. Dunn as Brandon Breyer.
Bad name.
Yeah, fuck you, buddy. It was kind of a trip because it's like Elizabeth Banks just running around this movie yelling Brandon. I'm like, I'm right here.
I'm right here. I'm watching. Here. What do you want?
And then also Matt Jones is the uncle. And I've seen Matt Jones in quite a few things.
Yeah, he's been in a ton of stuff. I think his biggest or earliest thing was Breaking Bad.
Yeah, he was... what was it? It was it's not Beaver. What the hell is his name?
I think it was.
He was
wasn't it?
It was something like
Beaver.
Yeah, he Badger. It was Badger. But yeah, he's been in quite a bit of stuff. He was I guess he appeared on How I Met Your Mother. Yep. I fucking forgot how to talk today.
That's okay. We're just doing a podcast. Yeah. That's fine.
No big deal.
It's all visual.
But yeah, like he has that face that you you fucking know him when you see him.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like,
I didn't even know he was in this movie, and then as soon as I heard him talk, and obviously he has that recognizable face even.
very
it's just like,
distinctive
oh,
all
it's that guy.
around. Yeah, he yeah, to see him, like, he actually did a really good job in this movie, and we'll get into it later, but, like, yeah, like, everybody did. I didn't really have any issues with how anybody acted in this
Even
movie.
the kids did great.
Yeah, like, this kid, what's his name, Jackson?
I don't know. It's on your phone.
Fuck you, buddy. Yeah, Jackson Dunn. Like, I didn't look to see how many things he's been in. Couldn't be a lot.
I would think so.
He did good. The little girl, I believe Caitlin, she did good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just all around, I really don't have any complaints for this movie, other than how it went from 0 to 60. Like, there was no gradual. Like, it was like pud, boom, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of that goes into horror in general. I mean, that's just what you get. You get that 15, 20 minutes of build-up, and then, boom, the killer's loose,
just off
and
to the
you're
races.
just running in the woods.
Yeah.
So I kind of give it some credit as to that. If it was a different movie...
You've got to be fucking kidding me, dude.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm just saying, not only... I don't know how you didn't know this, but little Jackson A. Dunn was in Avengers Endgame.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Some of the biggest credits in the entire movie.
Right. Well, he it said Scott Lang.
Oh.
So I think he was Kid Scott.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I would have never put that together, but yeah, that is him.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that is kind of a trip, but yeah, it said yeah, Scott Lang.
Oh, yeah. I can picture it now. I saw that 3 times in theaters already.
He's 12 years old. Oh, he played Scott Lang at 12 years old. But yeah, he's been in that. He's been on TV. He was in an episode of Glow, which I know is Glorious Ladies of Wrestling. I haven't watched it, but I saw it on Netflix.
I hear it's good.
Get Shorty, I guess, at a TV show. He was on Shameless for a few episodes. So, I mean, he's done some stuff.
Yeah, some big stuff.
Yeah. You know,
That kid's getting around. He's going to have quite the future if he keeps it up.
right? Just being a little fucker.
Yeah.
Just that face, he did a good job when you feel anger towards him for being a little shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cast was great. We can go ahead and dive into the notes if you want to start us off with yours.
Yeah, I think so. I would love to do more non-spoilers, but there's so much to cover in this.
Well, the spoilers don't really happen until you start to get to the death scenes.
Sure.
And so, I mean, we could...
I would say if you haven't seen it yet and you have no interest in knowing anything about it, come back later. Once you've seen it, then listen, because I don't want a cool moment to be ruined for you.
Right. Yeah, I honestly think, I mean, the only thing that is spoilery is how the deaths play out.
Well, yeah.
Because, I mean, you get the premise, you get the idea, you know that he's an asshole. He fucking...
The name alone, you gotta know.
Brightburn, I know, right?
You're right?
But, I mean, there's...
Well, yeah, I mean,
the
it's...
trailers, you know what's going to happen. But the way that they did these kills, if you don't want those spoiled, then by all means,
Yeah.
Once we start, when we talk about the first one, we'll let you know. Yeah, hey, if you don't want to know anything else, I'm not going to do timestamps because it's pretty intermittent, but yeah, just go see it. It's worth it.
It really is.
I want to go see it again.
Yeah.
But I won't because I still need to see John Wick.
Sure.
And Godzilla.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you ever wanted to see what would happen if Superman was evil and legit killed people with his powers, this is the movie for you.
Yes.
Because it is just amazing.
100%.
This was exactly what I was hoping it would be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would change anything.
I don't think so either, because like, and if you like let yourself get caught in the movie, like the idea of something like that happening, like how do you stop that?
Yeah. It's quite terrifying.
Like
if Superman really did go evil, we're screwed.
Yeah, there's nothing going to save you. But yeah, spoilers don't really matter for this movie unless you want to be surprised by how fucking rad the death scenes are. That's my take.
Fair enough.
But yeah, you go ahead and start us off.
I loved that this is, it really is Superman. I mean, it's everything about it, from the ship landing. It's even, I was wondering what Brightburn was, and then when they reveal it's Brightburn, Kansas.
Yeah, it's the name of the, yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, so that's actually makes
cool.
sense. And it also gives you that Smallville Superman vibe.
Which is kind of cool, too, because Brightburn, and then the boy's name is Brandon Breyer.
Mm-hmm.
So BB, Brightburn, and then when he's, jumping ahead, doodling in his book, like, it's a...
The symbol.
Yeah,
all that.
Yeah, his little logo that he does is kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. You're going to start doing that with a BD.
Oh, I have my own.
I'm sure you do, for when you kill people with your heat vision.
Spoiler.
We already said. It's fine.
Right.
But I loved seeing him grow and having, like we were talking about earlier, seeing the home movies of him as a kid and like, oh, everything kind of seems normal. I was expecting like little hints of his powers.
It's like once he hit puberty, he's like, he starts, hearing voices in his head, and then
the ship turns on, and
the fucking hearing the alien voice. Like, I'm really hoping that this movie did well enough that they can expand upon the ideas that they put in this movie, go into more detail. We'll get to the rest later.
Yeah.
But the possibilities are fucking insanities.
Yeah. And I would just even if they don't expand on everything else they bring up, just another one of these could be super cool just to see what he does next.
Right. And if they did like a graphic series on it or something, like put some of that alien backstory, find out where that ship came from. If they didn't put it into a movie, I would read the comic version of it if they were to do something like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like once puberty starts to set in, I don't want to say slow because it is, but it isn't.
Well, yeah, and it's like I said earlier, it's that horror movie pacing where it's like we have 90 minutes to play with. We can't fuck around for too long.
But I mean, like, it's like I don't remember exactly at what point, but he's mowing the lawn. That's
later on.
Well, that's when he starts to.
The voice has already started by then.
Right, because so yeah, my notes. I had the spaceship crash. They adopted him, named him Brandon, and then straight to the lawnmower.
Oh, you skipped a lot of things.
Well, then you lead me up to the lawnmower, dickhead.
All right, I will.
Good.
You're going to be sitting there for quite a while. I thought it was a lot sooner too, but then going through Wikipedia, it was like, oh, that happens quite a bit later.
I took my notes from Wikipedia too, which is what I don't get.
Yeah, so did I. I just did it better, I guess. Yeah, he started hearing the voices, and he started sleepwalking, quote unquote sleepwalking, and the mom finds him in the barn kind of going nuts and leads him back and lies to the dad about it. And then you get you skipped over the birthday gun. And
was that before the lawnmower, though?
Yeah. Yes, it was. We're having a lot of dead air. Yes, it was.
No, dude. Wait. Because... Near's disrespectful to his parents. Okay. Yeah, dude, because it...
Or if I just kind of missed the lawnmower part.
Well, no, dude, because, like...
Yeah, dude. Whoa, dude.
I'm gonna fucking swing on you. Because, yeah, he sleepwalks to the barn. He's trying to open the trap door.
Well, maybe I'm
she
wrong.
Wakes him, but it's, as he nears puberty, he does become a little fucker.
Yeah, very quickly. As we all do.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest.
But yeah, no, because it doesn't actually talk about the lawnmower scene.
Maybe I skipped it then.
But no, it doesn't even have the lawnmower in here. But I think that the lawnmower happened before the birthday party because he was out there trying to mow the lawn.
Right.
And then it dies, and then he tries to start it, and then flings it.
Yeah.
Like 300 feet. Mm-hmm. And then goes out there, and I want to know what kind of lawnmower he has because it's still running. It's on its side, still running, spinning. And then
At least he got it to start.
Right. And so, I mean, like, maybe your thought process is like, holy shit, I just threw this, you know.
That was my kind of little hiccup is like, how do you go from I just threw a lawnmower to I'm going to stick my hand in the blades and see what happens.
Right. And that was... Yeah, that's a big leap.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you may be super strong, but that might not mean you're invincible. So, like, you're taking a pretty big fucking gamble.
I mean, obviously, he would know that and it gets brought up later that he's never been cut, hurt, or anything. He would know that.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's no context
if
for us, the audience, to know that yet.
Right, but if he doesn't know what that is, he might not know that he's missing that.
Right.
And so, but yeah, so there's that. There's the...
It's a forgivable leap for a cool scene.
Yeah, I'll take it because it's just like, boom, kind of, I wouldn't say it wraps around his arm, but he fucking torqued that blade pretty good.
It's broken now.
Yeah,
the fall didn't break it, but his arm sure did.
And I don't think it was ever brought up again. Like, if you think about, like, if my son broke my lawnmower and I just bought a brand new lawnmower...
I'd be pissed that he broke my lawnmower.
He would not be happy. And I think
also, how did you do this? Because, like, it's so far away.
Yeah, you're a 12-year-old boy.
Alien boy.
Right? But yeah, dude, that puberty really just kind of started to fucking spin the wheels on him.
Well, and the whole thing with the gun, like...
Oh, at the birthday party.
Yeah, that was awkward even for me as a viewer, which I think is the point, but it was like... I could so see myself being at that party and having to feel bad about getting him the gun. Or like, being the other couple that got him like a movie.
Right.
But he didn't open it yet. And it's like, this is awkward.
Yeah.
We haven't even got the pizza yet. Like, I don't...
Yeah, and it's like, is that the only... I mean, we'll get into this later, but is that like the only place in town where anybody goes to?
It's like, the diner. I mean, come on. It's Kansas. So, I mean, there's not a lot of...
Have you been to Kansas?
No.
You're just making assumptions again.
Yeah.
About the Midwest. What is it with you in the Midwest, dude?
I didn't know I had a theme going already.
You're like, I didn't realize that I disliked it as much as I do, but... No. But yeah, they go to celebrate his birthday, and Uncle Noah, which is Badger, and his out of his league wife.
Very. Yeah. That guy always gets hotter chicks than he should, though.
Right, and you know they ended up getting him a hunting rifle. Dad doesn't like it at all. He's
not
like,
even a little.
What the fuck are you doing?
Even though he's an avid hunter and like,
yeah,
I get it. I wouldn't get my kid a gun, and I'd be pissed if someone got my kid a gun.
I would only be pissed if I told you, I'm like, hey, not yet, and then you went and did it anyway. Then I'd be pissed off. But if it was out of the blue, like, hey, I'd just put it in a gun safe and call it good. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah, that was very awkward, very uncomfortably awkward. Thinking he's still young, and the fucking stones on that boy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, give it to me.
Do it.
Now. Like.
But you know what? I could totally see some shithead kid saying that. Right. Even if he wasn't developing superpowers.
But he also was like, hey, I just threw a lawnmower.
Let's see how far I can throw you.
Oh, we'll get to that too, won't we? But yeah, dude, that was pretty brutal.
And then he starts chewing up the fork at the table.
That was a cringe moment for me too, because I'm just like, oh.
Just anytime I bite a fork, it makes me
so bad.
It does, and he's just
weird.
gnawing on it. It's very creepy.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I think that the plot notes for what was taken down for the Wikipedia, I think the pacing is just like it was in the movie.
Yeah, very frenetic and fast.
Right, because it's like, you know, Kyle suspects something's wrong with Brandon after he mangles a fork while cleaning Brandon's room. You know.
Well, and it does happen very quickly after that. I think it's almost the same
Yeah, he's sitting down there,
Few
and then
minutes.
she's upstairs cleaning his room, and then
Yeah.
she finds the little stash under the bed, which is a pretty common trope for preteen boys to
Sure.
have their stuff
Nudies under the mattress.
I myself never did.
This is a safe space.
I had a different hiding spot.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
an idiot.
Yeah, under the bed's really stupid, especially if your mom makes your bed.
Oh,
That's
my mom
really
never
dumb.
made my bed. Nobody made my bed.
Well, his did, so that was dumb. But then she finds like pictures of organs.
Yeah, like
and
it was
people's
like,
insides,
okay,
like anatomy,
swimsuit, normal. Okay, now we're getting into some fucking
dissecting frog kind of shit.
yeah, like okay,
Like I get under the clothes, but after that, that's where you stop.
yeah, like what do you do?
You don't need to go that inside.
Yeah, the layers are peeling a little too far. But yeah, so they end up after that they decide to go on a camping trip,
Oh.
and then the awkward talk in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Roy, that was not handled very well. Like, I mean,
it's an awkward thing to have to do anyway, I would imagine.
but I mean, he was kind of like I mean, he doesn't know that he's kind of like enabling his thoughts by like, I'm kind of feeling this way. It's like, yeah, go ahead and act on it. But
Yeah.
he doesn't know how
Much he will act on it.
Yeah, or how he can act on it.
Well, that's the thing. He's like, if you want to just, have fun with yourself, go nuts and do that stuff. But,
Right.
also respect boundaries and don't go too crazy.
Uh-huh.
Let's shoot a deer.
Right. But, so then coming up, like, they go to bed and,
Mm-hmm.
like, it does the cool, like, he goes to the girl's house.
Yeah.
And just kind of taunts her, which is
Yeah.
kind of a weird thing to do. Like, if you like somebody, being like, okay, so granted, I can fly,
I know.
right? Yeah,
I've seen you do it.
yeah,
It's cool.
so I can fly.
Yeah.
It looks funny because I'm a big guy, but
Sure.
I can fly. I can fly up to your window.
Uh-huh. As have you done.
Yeah,
It's strange, but I
you
deal
get
with
used
it.
to it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play music on your laptop,
Yeah.
right? And you're gonna go and close it, and then go back to your bed. But in the process, I'm gonna open it back up and continue to play, right? And then like that. Like,
Well, and that's the thing. Like, it started out like, okay, I could kind of get what he's trying to do the first time.
yeah,
I open your computer, I play some romantic song because I think that's romantic.
yeah.
And
Isn't that what people do, right?
yeah, I could totally, a 12-year-old version of me, I could totally see myself doing a version of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the say anything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Like, that's the new version of say anything. But when he keeps doing it,
Yeah.
it's creepy. And
Right.
it gets very scary very quickly.
It does. It gets really bad to where he just kind of like keeps fucking with the laptop, but then he's hiding behind the curtains, like outside, like he's almost like
Yeah.
perched on her windowsill. Mm-hmm. I don't remember. Was his eyes glowing at that point? Like, could
I
she
don't
see?
think so.
Okay, but like she saw him.
Yeah.
But she never physically saw him. Like, she saw him through the curtains and shit
Right.
like that, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then, she yells for her mom, and the mom comes up there, and she's like, I don't see anything. She's like, he was here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're trying to find him back at camp. And then he just pops up out of nowhere,
Right.
like, oh, hi.
I was taking a leak.
I just had to piss. Like, oh, okay.
Fair enough. That happens.
Right.
You had to pee in the middle of the night. You didn't wake us up. That's like, I could, okay,
yeah, it's
fine.
it's
That's not too strange.
I think the only reason why it kind of seemed weird is because I don't know if they're like kind of noticing some weird shit starting to go on with him, and they're
Well, he did just eat a fork. So, I mean, he's already exhibiting some signs of something's not right, plus the organ pictures.
right. And so, well, yeah, it's starting to ramp up a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go back to my other notes here.
Well, my next thing is death to chickens.
Yeah,
'Cause
that was. Yeah, I put. God damn it. See, I saw your notes and I was like, I'm not gonna look for fucking cheesy things. Yeah, dude, that was kind of a trip, dude. He's just like, they show him standing outside the coop, and he's just like staring at them, and they're fucking going nuts,
Yeah.
right? And then the dad comes out. Kyle's like, fuck back in the house, man. What are you doing? Leave the goddamn chickens alone. Fucking weirdo.
Oh, and he's not like doing anything. He's just staring at them. And they're going nuts because animals, especially in these movies, tend to react to evil.
But it's almost like I don't think he knows what he's doing either, because he kind of snaps out of it.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
Well, at this stage, he doesn't quite... I mean, even doing the fork thing, it's like he's in a trance. Like he's still... Like the parts of his brain are starting to...
I'm just thinking about chewing on the fork again.
I have a worse one coming up. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's like... The cylinders are starting to fire, but he's not quite able to process what and how and why.
True. And
so
Dad's kind of ramping up for Dad too, because he's like, what the fuck is going on?
He ate a fork.
He ate a fork. He's out here fucking with chickens, and then goes back inside, and then comes back outside later to see them all just
barbecued.
Fucking Kansas chicken massacre. Like the fucking door is ripped off. Just it's a voodoo scene out there, dude. Like chicken just mauled. Dad thinks it's a wolf.
No, Mom thinks it's a wolf. Dad knows that it's him.
Dad's like, and then she's like, "You're a fucking idiot, dude. He didn't rip a door off its hinges." And I mean, I get where she's coming from.
Yeah, because at this point, they haven't really seen anything too excessive with what he can do.
Dad obviously hasn't found the lawnmower, right? And so, like, I mean, it's kind of like crying wolf early, being like, I know it's him, and she's like, no, he's 12. Like he's not able to rip doors off the hinges and then slaughter a bunch of chickens. Like that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Dad's like, he ate a fork. And just wait till I find my lawnmower, dude.
It's one of those things where I feel like when they found him in the first place, she was on board and he had to be talked into it.
Yeah, she was all like, "Oh yes, we did, we got it."
Yeah,
and he's like,
"It's an alien child that fell from the sky."
It's like Mom's more heart, Dad's more head.
Yeah.
But that was, but that was my thing. Dad's catching on. Mom doesn't want to have any of it. And then we got the trust fall fail.
Yeah, trust falls turned to tears.
Well, it's kind of funny, dude, because everyone's like, "Oh yeah," and Caitlin's like, "Get the fuck
noise
away from me, dude!" Like,
yeah, she's not hiding it at all. And I think it's interesting that she immediately realized that it was him.
Yeah, which is like, I mean, obviously pacing and all that, but like
that was one thing that I kind of bumped up against, where it's like maybe there should be a scene where she realizes it's him, not like immediately, because even in her room, she was saying it was Brandon.
Right, yeah, she saw him, but I mean, maybe she saw him clearly. I mean, think about it. She sits in front of him. She was nice to him. We didn't even talk about the fact that he was like nerding out about bees in the classroom, and the fact that he was very specific in the foreshadowing, talking about how the bees are and how.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a thing where that was like. I should have put that down. That was some serious foreshadowing.
Yeah, definitely
explaining like brute strength, and you get other people to raise your children, and like it was like, ooh. And then she was nice to him.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you were nice to me. I love you now."
Which, at that age is more or less how it
I get
happens.
it. Anytime the girl talked to me when I was a kid, I'm like, yeah.
It's on.
She wants it.
But
well,
she
obviously not want it. I was
sure.
12, but she was into the goods.
Mostly that wasn't true, but
yeah, more often than not. But yeah, so they're in PE and they're standing in a circle doing trust falls. Essentially, they're kind of pinballing each other into kind of team building exercises, right? And then it becomes Brandon's turn, and everyone's doing their thing. And as soon as he comes to Caitlin, she side doors it right out of the way, and then he just he falls, hits his head, pissed.
Yeah,
we're talking hand crunching pissed.
Yeah, that was brutal. Like, I knew it's a horror movie. Something bad's about to happen, but
just the crunch.
The teacher has to talk her into helping him up, and then she does it.
And then he kind of looks at her, and he's just like,
you bitch. And then,
yeah.
Oh, that was brutal.
Oh, man. Woo. ouch.
Yeah, that would hurt
And it,
a
like,
lot.
it showed the hand. Like,
Yeah.
it went, like, it was like a sack of skin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hand crunch. Which led into him being suspended and then having to go into counseling with his hot aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it's like...
Badger's wife.
Yeah, Badger's wife. It's a conflict of interest. Like, and see, this is where it's kind of funny. I think I have it in my notes later on. But he starts to get more and more aggressive talking about you can't tell them that it was me. Like, you can't, like, as we'll find out later, he goes to extreme lengths to cover
his tracks. Yeah.
And, like, he's like...
While still signing his name everywhere he does anything.
Right? He's like, you can't tell them.
Yeah.
I'll do it myself, but you can't. You can't tell them. But yeah, so he doing the counseling. She's like, I'll have to report to the sheriff. He's like, you can't tell him. And she's like, the fuck, I can't. I'm going to. I have to. It's my job.
Yeah.
Like, I love you, but you're an asshole. Like,
you broke the girl's hand.
You
a lot.
Fucking squeezed it like it was a fucking
bag of chips.
Yeah, like a bag of chips, dude. Just crunched. Yeah, what makes you think I'm not gonna... I have to. Blah, blah, blah. But, so, I got Take the World, he starts doing...
Well, because then he...
What you got?
I have that he breaks the barn doors open and he finds his ship. And he falls into there and it cuts him. Am I jumping ahead again?
Nope. Because... I didn't have that, but yeah, that he does nice little, like, he falls in there and he's like, oh shit, I got cut.
Yeah,
like,
another wonderful foreshadowing moment. The mahogany ring.
Yeah, if you can call it foreshadowing, like it.
Well, what I like about it, not to get too far ahead, is that it's an obvious thing, and it's also a Superman thing of stuff from his world hurts him.
Right.
But it ends up not, because we'll get to it later. Right. But I like that, because it's an obvious thing that you have to do in a movie to be like, okay, there's something that could take this kid down.
Right. And okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Real quick though, that was a really weird looking ship as well. Like, obviously it was metal because it cut him, but like looking at it, it almost looked like, I don't want to say organic, but it almost seemed kind of like
a
fleshy.
Thing. Yeah, it was strange.
Like lifelike. Almost like if you had like some sort of fleshy material that had iron, iron clamps on it and shit. Kind of like you'd see like an old school iron door or a wooden door with the iron attachments or facets or whatever to it. Yeah. Like that's what the ship looked like. It was really weird.
And then his parents finally break down and tell him that he's an alien, and he gets super pissed very quickly.
He does not like his origin story at all.
No, I'm enjoying it, but he didn't care for it one bit. So then he flies to the girl's house.
Right, and she's like, I can't talk to you anymore. Like, my mom's like, forbid me to talk to you. You don't like that at all either.
He brings her flowers, though, which is nice.
He does. He leaves
but he
her
also
flower.
Threatens her mom and then acts on it very quickly.
Yeah, I don't remember what he said, but like...
Something to the extent of, I'll take care of her.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because the next scene, I accidentally wrote Diner Mooder. I forgot the R.
The Diner Mooder.
Mooder, yeah. But this is like the first death scene.
Yeah.
And it...
It's creepy and intense as balls is the words that came to my mind.
Right. It's very mind-gamey.
Yeah, for a first kill that we see anyway, he really takes his time to screw with this lady. Oh. And I get that he's pissed at her.
Right. He's super pissed at her.
She's keeping him away from his lady.
He's
But
like, she will be mine. Oh,
whether
yes.
she likes it or not.
She will be mine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I mean, it might not seem like it as much because he has super speed. So the ability to make everything somehow super foggy, like fog up all the windows,
Well,
and then
that to
cover
me,
the windows in his BB symbol.
Mm-hmm. That to me was ice breath, which is a Superman thing.
Right.
Unfortunately, we don't get to see him really do that again, I don't think.
No, he doesn't do the ice. That's the only thing that you can kind of see that is icy would be that.
As soon as I saw that, I went, oh, Superman ice breath.
Right.
But they don't show him do it, and they don't show him do it again.
But he does. I mean, it's a way to fog up the windows, or freeze them.
Yeah.
The only reason why I thought foggy was because of the way that when that dissipated, you could still kind of, and then it'll come back
Right.
up on there, which I'm sure.
That's true with anything when you're right on the glass, though.
Right.
Speaking of glass.
Oh, God. Right? Well.
That is so, like, I hate things touching my eye, and people do it. Like, I just can't. I tried to wear contacts once, and I couldn't get it started because touching the eye. And
I'm not a fan either. Like, there's
is
nothing about touching eyeballs, yeah.
No.
And then for that to happen the way that it did, like...
bulbs shattering in your face.
Yeah, and it didn't even seem that drastic at first, like little maybe nicks, but then it's all like a zoom up, close up of the eye of a fucking... I don't like... Oh my God, like the idea of trying to pull that out yourself.
Well,
like,
and what's worse is like when it starts, you're like, oh, it's a little piece of glass, and she'll just boop, take it out, and it's fine. It's like into the brain.
it's like the size of a fucking, like
a finger.
a quarter.
It's brutal.
Yeah, it's
like it goes on forever.
Oh my God, yeah. It's almost like the length of a fucking AAA battery.
Yeah.
Like you're pulling a, like I don't know how it didn't cut
quite
your
the
eye in
shard.
half. But the thing that I liked about that scene too was the fact that her vision of him, like she could never really see him because she was looking out of her one good eye. The other eye was muddled with blood, which you could kind of see that from that perspective, which was a really cool touch.
Yeah.
But fuck, man, like she's like swinging her baseball bat around, like
trying to get away and get help. And then she gets into the walk-in fridge.
Yeah, she runs, and then like I don't know, like I used to work in places like that had walk-in fridges and freezers, and like, yeah, you don't necessarily want to get trapped in one of those. Even
I wouldn't
still,
think so.
Because like if that door doesn't want to open, like I've had them like, oh no, I'm fucking stuck in here.
Thankfully, she doesn't have to worry about that because he laser visions the shit out of that door.
And that was the thing too, like like the way his heat vision looked was like not necessarily like how it, like Superman's is like red laser pinpoint. This almost looks like focused lava beams.
Yeah.
Like
it's substantially more intense than Superman.
Right. I mean, but it's almost as, I would say thick as a nickel. Like we're talking.
Everyone says that, thick as a nickel. You and I, we're thick as a nickel.
A stack of nickels. But yeah, like it's a little bit bigger of a stream, but I just visually it looks really cool.
Yeah.
But goddamn, dude, that fucking glass in the eyeball.
Oh, that was brutal. I want to move on.
All right.
So then he goes, we don't see what happens to the mom.
No, she goes missing. Like,
yeah.
They're trying to find her.
Mm-hmm. And so then we go to him making the impromptu house call with this hot aunt.
Well, they do. So the sheriff, real quick before we do that. So when the sheriff is there and he's investigating, he's a clever guy because he does go up to the window and kind of sees Smudgy, and then he finds that symbol.
Well, yeah, but doesn't...
Well, he sees it with the blood later.
No, I know that, but I'm saying, doesn't that... I was wondering if that scene happened after... Because doesn't he go to the aunt's house
because he, like... So the aunt's house leads into the next death, which is where the sheriff sees the pictures of the symbol and blood.
Okay, so I must have missed another thing.
Well, no, because I have He does have the counseling session.
Yeah.
Complete lack of remorse. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the sheriff he goes up to the window the next day, and then he sees the symbol and then gets the pictures. But so he does have the counseling session. I don't know if it's at school.
It seems to be.
It might be at school, because after that is when he starts to he's covering his shit up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does go to the aunt's house, fucks with her.
Yeah.
Because at that counseling session, she's like, I have to tell, what's going on. And, he's intimidating her, saying, that's not going to be good for anybody.
Right.
Like, he's tough talking already. Like, this is like over the course of
I already know what I can do now. So if you want to play cards.
You really want to?
You want to dance? Let's dance.
You want to get nuts? But yeah, so it gets like that. Like it just starts rampant because he's fucking with his aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Like she has like Alexa security or something like that, where backyard light, and then it lights up and then alerts her and all that kind of stuff. Like. Yeah, he's just kind of toying with her.
Yeah, and because he shows up at her door and says, "Hey, don't turn me in. You gotta help me." Blah 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 blah. And she says, "Fuck off, go home."
He shuts the door.
And then he starts screwing with her, and she thinks that he left. So she goes to bed. Right. Meanwhile, the uncle comes home.
Yeah, which the uncle was with the dad. They were playing pool. Right. They were drinking. They did a little bit of setup to that, being like, "Hey, Roy's Kyle."
Badger.
Kyle was talking to Badger, and he's like, "Hey, should you be driving home?" Mm-hmm. So they kind of let up with that, and he's like, "No, I'll be fine."
Which was a nice touch to give that slight twinge of, oh, maybe our son didn't just kill his uncle.
Yeah.
Maybe he crashed driving home.
Yeah.
Because
maybe
the wife never saw him, did she?
No, I don't think she ever.
She couldn't have, because otherwise she would have.
She was in bed.
Yeah.
Because he came home, she was asleep,
and he was brushing his teeth and shit, and then
that's when you see a fucking little spider monkey back up above the toilet, and then he's hiding in the closet.
Because that's dumb.
Yeah, plain sight.
Yeah, he's just standing there.
What the fuck are you doing? He fucking pulls the mask off his head, and he's just standing there and like. Being like, okay, you found your nephew in your closet in the middle, like at
with
night,
a mask on,
with a crocheted murder mask. Like,
could have just been a pervy mask. We don't, he doesn't know that it's a murder mask yet.
Well, no, but I mean,
he will.
Dude, it's got eye slits and it's got little fucking stitching down the front, dude. It's a murder mask.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but yeah, so he finds him in the closet. Uncle Noah's a little aggressive with him. Like, he's like,
well, he's pissed. I mean, he's
pissed.
He's drunk and pissed and
manhandling. He's
a little frightened. Because
I'd be a lot of frightened.
Well, I mean, just the creepiness of this kid in your house in the middle of the night. Your wife is the only one home. So what was he doing? I mean, even if you don't go, he's superpowered and could kill me.
It's still weird.
It's still creepy as balls.
Still really weird. And so, like, he is like, I'm going to take you home. Mm-hmm. And then he tries to put him in the fucking Bronco. And the kid's not in the Bronco.
Yeah.
And then he, like, hightails it out of there.
And my only problem with that is, if you're afraid that this kid is dangerous and going to do something, you just left your wife there alone.
Yeah,
the kid might not have followed you.
You booked it.
Yeah.
You don't know he can fly and chase after you.
No. So essentially, you just left this. Yeah, I did. When we were watching the movie, I was like, I know this isn't how it's going to happen.
Right.
But you just left this kid alone with your wife. I was so
into that too, because I'm like, yeah, dude, I have a wife and a child. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, okay, good point. I didn't even think about that.
That's why I'm here.
No, it's not. But then we end up getting, I think this might be my favorite death scene.
Spoiling the scorecard already.
No, I'm saying no because I don't. It's one of my favorite things. Yeah,
it is really cool though.
Yeah, god damn it. Either way. Okay, I spoiled one thing on my scorecard. Oh,
Loser.
well. Yeah, loser. You did it last time, so
Yeah,
it's okay.
I know.
But yeah, this death scene is it. Oh man,
It's disturbing.
It really is
Because he kind of stalks him in the car and then is able to make him stop and then...
like lifts him up and then drops him.
Yeah.
But the thing that's the most brutal is the way that he lands. Like it like rips his jaw. I wouldn't say clean off,
but most
like,
of the way.
Left side is like hanging off. It's barely hanging on, and
it's like when in A Christmas Carol when what's his face takes off the head bandage and his jaw drops because it's not connected.
What?
You haven't seen that? Like in the Jim Carrey Christmas Carol when I'm gonna forget his name. Marley. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it.
You should. It's really good. But his jaw like drops and he has to like lift it to be able to talk. It's creepy as shit, but it's a lot like that.
Right. But yeah, so like he's like you know, and he's like it for such a low budget, like it looked very well. Like
yeah, it looked really good.
The money that they spent on the visuals, they did it in the right spots.
Mm-hmm.
Like holding his jaw up and all that kind of stuff. The boy, Brandon sticking his hand in through the glass and getting the blood.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching that part, I really thought that he was gonna put it in his mouth. Like he was gonna
taste it.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna do this. I'm like, oh no.
See, I wasn't sure what. Like, I thought he was gonna do something horribly brutal, like rip off the
Just
jaw,
pull it off.
Yeah, or something.
I like how subtle it was, though.
Yeah,
like it very minimal.
I was waiting for the heat vision for him to just blow the car up.
Yeah, but see, the thing is like in hindsight, when he does that with the blood, he does leave his calling card here. Like he's starting to leave that symbol everywhere. But like he reached in the one time to get that little bit of blood. I'm just like maybe behind the scenes wondering how many times he had to reach in and grab blood and do like, you know.
I got part of the bee. Hold on, I need some more.
Yeah, I need to walk back to the car, float back over to it.
Should have just used some paint.
Right? Or just rip something off and like a paint
right with his finger.
Right, finger brush. But yeah, that was brutal.
Mm-hmm. And then he gets home with no shirt on.
And he's holding his shirt.
Yeah, he's holding the shirt.
Comes up
and he's
with
like,
a fucking cheesy ass excuse.
Yeah, they ripped it off. I don't want you to see him embarrassed. Until like 2:00 in the morning, and it's fine. Just don't worry about the shirt.
Yeah.
And then
Well, they find that shirt later, but like Dad's kind of fishy. Mom's like, oh, okay, I get it. Mm-hmm. And he gets home. I said Mom's still in denial about everything that's going on, but like, I don't remember what he was doing, but he fucking power blasts fucking Kyle into the door.
Well, yeah, so it starts out, they're in the kitchen and they're like, hey, your uncle died last night.
Oh, yeah, and he didn't give a shit.
Yeah, and he was like, okay, cool. I know, that's fine. And then Dad loses it and loses his shit and like, you know more than you're telling us and blah, 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 blah.
He's like, hey, bad cop, I fucking know it's you.
Yeah,
I know you did it.
He really was. And
Mom is ultra defensive.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And that's when Brightburn gets all pissed and just slams him into the freaking shelving.
Because he gets up to walk away and he's like, grabs his arm, he's let go and boom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck.
Screwed.
Yeah, dude. Because then he's like, okay, I'll make it up to him. I'll take him on a hunting trip.
Mm-hmm. Well, and yeah, because they find that the dad goes up and be like, hey, sorry, I pissed you off and you threw me into that shelf. Meanwhile, he finds the shirt.
Yeah, he goes upstairs while the boy's in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
And see, the thing I don't understand is like, so he has the powers of Superman-ish. Does he not have the hearing?
Does he not have the hearing? Does he not have the X-ray vision either? Because that
What?
comes into play later. And it could be one of those things where he could develop more powers later on.
That's true.
Don't fall asleep on me. We got a ways to go. We need to wrap this up before too long.
No, we don't. No, not that much.
I know. Because then we go into that very horrid camping trip that goes totally awry.
Yeah, they just go hunting, and this is the only part of the movie that really, like, it bugged me because it's like, I mean, that's a really hard choice, to make.
Sure.
But then to be like,
to shoot your son in the back of the head.
And thinking that it's gonna work, knowing full well what he, like, you're
has
like,
survived. I mean, he didn't see the lawnmower thing.
No,
but he's the one that brings up, oh, he's never been hurt, he's never been cut,
bruises, nothing.
Yeah. So you think? I mean, I guess you would imagine something as powerful as a gun
might
should do
Yeah,
something.
he took a leap of faith.
Yeah, and it didn't.
Backfired.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Well, my only problem with it is that he should have waited for there to be like an animal.
Yeah.
So he could say, oops, that was an accident. Sorry. Oh my God, are you okay?
Yeah, like a chain misfire.
Yeah. Right. But instead it's like, there's nothing here. Hey, go look at that flower. It's like Walking Dead. Go look at the flower, girls. Go look at the flowers.
Yeah, right? God damn. But yeah, that was the only thing that really bugged me. And then, Dad's like, okay, I fucked up. And then he's like, I'm just going to run.
Yeah.
And then he does. He swooping in from side to side. Like,
it's creepy.
He's like, oh shit, my son can fly.
Yeah. And he's super damn fast.
And he's pissed as all get out now.
Because I just shot him in the back of the head.
And it didn't work. And so now I got to get away.
Yeah.
And it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to trip and fall.
Because that's what they all do in horror movies.
Yeah, bitches be falling. They be falling. And I was almost hoping, I'm like, oh, come on, let him off. No,
Not at all.
No.
This is where he goes, I would say, full evil.
Yeah, this is like the snapping point. He's like, my dad just tried to kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're talking like heat vision.
To the eyeballs.
Through the back of the head. Like it's like pops like a watermelon.
Like when Thor flies through that monster in the first Thor movie. And flies through his mouth out the back of his head.
Yeah.
It's like that, but in the eyes.
Yeah, and bloody.
Yeah.
Like there's some gore to it.
Oh, yeah.
And then Mom is starting to realize, what did I put after that? Because
after that, the sheriff comes to visit and is like, hey, is this your kid? Which I find a little strange that the sheriff automatically went to him.
Well,
it was a bit of a leap, but it was fine.
It was because because he's going through the case files in his desk, and he notices
the symbol.
The blood in blood at Noah's crime scene, and then he's like, okay, I've seen that, and then he sees it in the other one, and he's like, oh shit.
What I would say though is that the people that are missing and dead are related to him in one way or another, either literally or he broke this chick's daughter's hand.
Right, he's connected to it all.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the sheriff does, he puts that together, goes to the house, and, he's, like, trying to be cool about it, trying to be nice about it. Mom's like, that's my boy, get the fuck out of here. Come back with a warrant.
Yeah.
And, like, she's defending, like,
Yeah, but I think she also, because right after that, she goes,
runs upstairs.
Okay, maybe something's wrong in the boy. So she runs upstairs, finds this creepy-ass notebook with all the drawings and the symbols and death and destruction.
He drew out, like, the death scenes.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
And so, like...
kind of a dumb move.
Yeah,
if you're trying to cover your tracks, but I get it.
Well, it's kind of... But, I mean...
He's, like, making his own comic book of his escapades.
Right. And the funny thing is, like... He's adamant about covering his tracks. Like, nobody can know. But yeah, he's leaving his own evidence. And
meanwhile, here's a book with pictures that shows me doing these things.
Exactly, these things. And so, yeah, she searches the room, and then she, like, oh, fuck. So she calls Kyle. And little baby Brightburn answers the phone and like,
damn Brandons.
Fuck you. Brandon answers the phone and like, Dad's dead.
Yeah, he gone now.
Yeah, Dad's not coming home. Dad
Meanwhile,
tried to
2
shoot
seconds
me.
later, I'm home.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, like mom, like calls Dad. Dad's dead. Mom, he shows up at home. Mom calls the cops. Cops show up.
Really should have had backup.
Well, I mean, again, they don't really know what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
But like, he kind of like takes them out one by one.
Slowly and methodically. When he frickin', it's in the trailer even. They show him flying into the sheriff guy that we've been following the whole movie, and he frickin' vaporizes him.
Yeah, he's like, you see nothing but a trail of blood.
Yeah.
And like, he gone. And then
I loved that part.
I did too.
So
I
cool.
thought, I was like, okay, that's cool. And that's what he does. He takes everybody out like that. Like he just swoops in, but like he doesn't do it sneakily.
Yeah.
Like he's going through walls and he's destroying things. Like almost like I'm going to get to you and it doesn't matter what is in my way.
Yeah.
It's not going to slow me down.
I beat up a car. I can probably break some wood in this house.
Oh my, and he does.
Yeah. I love,
Turns the house
so
into Swiss cheese, dude.
the deputy is freaking out trying to call for backup. She can't. She and the mom go to like a bedroom and the mom hides under the bed. I freaking love the shot of him lifting the deputy and just slamming her against the roof.
Oh, when you can see it in the hallway?
Yeah.
She's hiding on the bed. It's just almost like Hulk and Loki. Just out there just
it's like that, but much more brutal.
Oh yeah. And it's not like back and forth. It's like up and down, in and out. Like, sucks to be her real bad.
Keep going. I'm texting my wife.
Oh, yeah. So just picking off, one officer at a time, kind of toys with the mom a little bit. She's hiding under the bed and he's floating around. And then he comes back and looks under there and she's out the window hanging. But then she falls. And so he obviously doesn't have super hearing.
Or the X-ray vision, because she's able to get out. She remembers that the ship cut him and
so she
says
starts,
as much. And she books it for the barn.
Right. And then so she somehow makes it to the barn.
Yeah.
That's a jaunt.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's where I think he's kind of toying with her and just screwing with her and seeing what she'll do. And I don't think I'm not sure he wants to kill her yet.
He might not, because, I mean, she technically, aside from calling the cops, hasn't really done anything to be like, it's not like the dad shooting him.
Yeah.
It's not like the other mom saying, stay away from my daughter. Like, she's always been in his corner. And so she makes it to the barn. She goes down there and she's pulling on that piece, but then it starts to light up, and that's when you find Erica,
the mom,
nailed,
of the girl.
Caitlin's mom from the diner, eyeglass, nailed to that wall, like splayed open.
Yeah, like a dissected frog.
Yeah, it was
that was crazy.
Yeah, because she was the only one down there, but she was the only one he kept.
Yeah.
And then he brought her down into his little, I don't want to say lair, but like where his ship is at. Like, he displayed her. So I don't know if he kind of if he did that for himself or he expected.
That's like, it's either like a trophy thing or it's a trying to like he had those images under his bed of the organs and shit, like he's trying to figure out what's inside people and whatever.
And so that actually I didn't put that together, but that does make sense because he did have the pictures and then he actually got to firsthand. And so she gets down there, she gets the piece. The one thing that we haven't talked about in this movie at all is their little Marco Polo whistle that they do, because is not supposed to be in the barn at all in the movies, and yet when she goes out to the barn to try to find him, she'll whistle, and then he'll whistle back. And so when she comes out of the little door area where the ship is at, and she hides the piece of metal, but she's walking slowly, and the boy whistles first, which was creepy.
Yeah.
And then, I really liked that.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was a quick flip. She'd been whistling for him the whole movie, and now he was looking for her, and did the whistle.
Yeah.
And they kind of get together, and that kind of what happens next, where she's standing there, she hugs him, and you're right. I don't think that he wanted to kill her because she hasn't really done anything to warrant death yet.
But then she does it so slowly with the shard. Like, I know she's trying to be sneaky, but she's so damn slow with it. And I know she also doesn't want to try and kill him because it's her kid and shit. But he notices.
Oh yeah,
and then he catches her.
Yeah, and this is where.
And they go up, and very far up away.
Yeah, I just put that she fucking tried to stab him, and she gets a sky drop.
Yeah, I was thinking he was gonna fly straight back down with her, I think that would have been super cool. But also the effect of
letting her go
is very
dramatic.
Yeah, it was dramatic, and it was layered. Like, it was like, okay, I am officially letting go of who I was.
Exactly.
I'm
it's
this
not
now.
it's not just it's letting go of the last little bit of his, I guess you could say, humanity.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's not really a human anyway, so
sure.
But yeah, it's letting go, and then out of nowhere,
a plane.
Of course, there's a plane.
I loved this because it's such a Superman thing. He always catches a plane.
Oh, okay.
And and saves a plane. And unfortunately, we don't get to see it. But then we see the aftermath of the plane destroyed.
Didn't they say 287 people?
Something like that.
I mean, I've been on a few planes, but I don't think I've ever seen one with that many people.
Well, they were going to like Disney World or something. It was a booked flight.
Oh, fucking hey. Well, even when I went to Hawaii, I was on a 757, and that's like 3 to a row, 40 rows. I don't fucking care.
Okay.
But yeah, so the aftermath of that, like, very lost in Kansas. Like, just a destroyed plane, parts and pieces everywhere. He's the sole survivor. Just sitting there.
Chilling, and then you see his little symbol on the plane written in blood.
Yeah.
Of course.
It was a quick pan, too.
Yeah.
Like, it just goes right by it, and I'm like, oh my God. Okay,
so
this kid's
good.
got an ego already, leaving his mark on everything. But yeah, he's just like sole survivor. He's sitting there at the end of the on the tail of the ambulance, and I don't know if he was eating a snack.
Yeah, it was like he was eating a cookie or something.
Yeah, he's eating something, and just not a care in the world. Had the same look on his face as when they told him, his uncle died.
Yeah.
Just
it's like, yeah, I know.
Zero
it's all good.
fucks.
And then it goes straight to credits, and we start to see him terrorizing shit across the town, across the world.
Just breaking buildings and destroying everything, and it's like they're calling him Brightburn, and it's really cool.
And we get the obligatory Michael Rooker in a James Gunn something or other.
Very Alex Jonesy.
Yeah.
So the thing that I wanted to call back to at that point, so it does end with that, but it says news reports and conspiracy theorists discuss assorted destruction of Brightburn, and then the existence of other super beings, and that pleads to humanity to, like, we got to stop it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and it's really cool because Rooker's doing his
like he's going,
we got to do this. We got to stop this.
Stop him,
and they talk about an Aquaman adjacent character, this lady that's strangling people with a rope. So it's a Wonder Woman adjacent.
Yep, it's very cool. Like, if they can somehow pull off like a superhero horror, Justice League,
that would be amazing.
Oh my God! Like, I take my money now. I need it. I want it. I don't know what they would do with an Aquaman style character, somebody that's water based. But this is also something. So, like, we have social medias, all that. So, let us know what you would think if you've seen this movie, and if you're listening at this point, you probably have.
Hopefully,
at the end of that movie, when he's talking about the other characters, like, what do you think would happen? Like, what do you think this Aquaman kid
or
would
Wonder
be,
Woman, or any
Woman,
of them,
or, you know, like, let us
and
know.
apparently one of the characters, because we both noticed someone in red.
I didn't notice this until you brought it up to me, and I got a full deep dive on that here.
I'm sure. I thought it was going to be a Flash adjacent. Apparently, it's Rainn Wilson's character, Frank Darbo, from aka the Crimson Bolt from Super.
Which is so that was James Gunn first superhero style movie he did. But so in May of 2019, which is right before the movie came out, director David Yarovesky stated upon the film potential being a success, the universe of Brightburn would be expanded upon. And that in a later interview with Collider, he confirmed that the mid-credit scene, making a reference to a half-man, half-sea creature terrorizing the seas, that Rainn Wilson's character, Frank Darbo, the Crimson Bolt from Super, and a powerful witch, who chokes, was intended to set up a sequel. In addition, noting that the alternate ending of the film, featuring Emmy Hunter's Caitlin, she was in a lab fastening a robot arm to her broken arm.
I did read about that.
And she's just pissed.
Yeah.
She's angry and all that. And so, as well as mentioning tons of other stuff, mentioning tons of other such endings as having been discussed, as well as stating that if we were to expand on the universe in other installments and in other ways, we would probably be doing it in the exact same way in total secrecy, and then drop a cinematic trailer at some point that kind of teaches one what the new direction may be.
Yeah.
And so, give it to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Do it. All of it.
I really hope it does.
Please.
Yeah.
Like, I get so, like, I don't want to be lewd about it, but I need it.
Yeah, that would be so great.
Like, just the idea. And I mean, I don't know how long it would take for them to announce that they would do something like that, but
That's hard to say. And that depends on how much of a priority it is and how quick they can fast track shit.
well,
Hopefully within the year we'll hear something.
right. And I didn't exactly look up to see what the family Gunn was doing. I mean, we know what James is working on.
Yeah.
But we don't know what Brian or Mark are doing. So, like, if they're not super busy, that they could be working on something. Or, I mean, they could already have something down. But, yeah, that's so goddamn exciting.
I know.
And I need it.
Well, without further ado, let's get into the scorecard, because I need to start going soon.
Oh, this is one of our shorter episodes, dude. We just crested an hour.
I know, but...
We were talking for an hour before.
Yeah. So...
Way to rush it.
I'm sorry. I hate to do it, but it must be done today. So in the Gore scorecard, I'll start off with my best kill, easily Laser in the Ice.
Really?
Yeah. That was so freaking cool, and it was brutal. Like, yeah, some of the other ones were pretty amazing, but it's such a visceral, holy shit moment of he's using his Superman laser vision through his dad's face.
Yeah.
I love that.
I can't argue that, obviously. But, like, and it was kind of cool, too, because when he's blasting through the eyes and you can kind of see, like, kind of like what they did in, like, the Superman movies, like, where you could kind of see the outline of, I guess, colorization or whatever, when they would do their thing, that, like, it would resonate outside the eyeball, like it was channeling.
Right.
And so, like, when Roy was getting his eyes blown out, like, it was, like, almost starting to crack and burn, and I'm like, oh, that was really cool. I did allude to it earlier. My favorite death, kill, scare. Well, technically, they all, with him hiding in the closet or him being propped up above the toilet.
Yeah.
That was a super cool scare.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd have to say Noah's jaw dropping death scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're turning into me after all.
Not even fucking close.
I do love that one because it's super brutal.
Yeah, and we don't have to expand on it because we already talked about it a lot. But yeah, that was my favorite. Just the like visually, it looked nothing about it looked fake. Everything about it was good.
Yeah. My most wanted to die, and it's not because of anything she did, but the ant. The only reason is because they had this whole build up. He's terrorizing the house. I was just waiting for him to Superman eye blow up that house.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense. Or like lift the house up and then like drop it.
Or do something. Like there was all this build up like, oh, she's going to get it and nothing, which is great. But I was waiting for it.
I said I couldn't come up with somebody that I wanted to die because nobody really deserved it.
Sure.
So I just put Brandon's punchable face.
Brandon's do have punchable faces. I will give you that.
Try it.
Okay.
Okay.
I got to get going though.
Oh God.
My most wanted to live was Elizabeth Banks.
Really? I put the dad. I can kind of relate to what he's like.
Going
I mean,
through.
my daughter's almost 3. It's not even close to the same, but like
No superpowers yet.
no yeah, kinda little asshole. But yeah, I felt bad for the dad because it's like he knows that his son is turning into something that he can't stop,
Yeah.
and like unfortunately it was a wasteful take one for the team, but he tried to do the right thing and he paid the price.
Yeah, for me, she wanted the best, and she was really just trying to champion her son, even though it was in vain. Mm-hmm. And it was like, you're really hoping that she would kill him. And it very much did not work out that way.
I got you. What was your grossest moment?
Glass in the eye.
Yeah, same with mine.
Yeah.
I don't think
we went into it hardcore,
I don't think that there's anything else other than the hanging jaw was pretty gross.
Yeah.
But like the eyeball, that was just too...
Yeah, it's too visceral, and it gives me the shivers just thinking about it. It was so brutal.
Out of their $6 million budget, I think $1 million of it was spent on just that scene there.
Dumbest moment was kind of tough, but the dad shooting Brandon.
God damn it.
I mean, it has to be, because it's the only real problem with the movie is like, you should know this isn't going to work.
You have to have an idea because you alluded to it already. But yeah, that was mine as well.
And then our special one for this one is best dark Superman moment, meaning the kid using his Superman powers in an evil, twisted way. What was his best version of that? And because I already did laser in the eyes, I went with the plane catch crash. Because that to me just screams Superman. He's known for, he did it in Superman Returns. I think he did it with the helicopter in the original Superman.
Right.
And he's known for that plane catch. Mm-hmm. And to see the evil side of that, where he just destroyed a plane full of people, was awesome.
That makes sense. So what I ended up writing down for mine, I put best use of a Superman power instead of dark moment or anything like that. The thing that I ended up using was just his flight, his stalking.
Yeah.
Like anytime...
That was awesome.
Like just his window stalks.
Yeah.
Like outside the window, you see his head for a little bit creeping. Anytime he's outside and you can just see his eyes glowing and there'll be like a flicker of lightning and you'll see the outline of him. Just his ability to he's stalking people from a distance and watching them, and like generally when Superman's like flying in or flying to help somebody, this is not the case at all.
No.
And so, yeah, it's all bad.
Yeah.
But that's definitely my favorite moment.
Yeah.
Highly recommend this movie.
Definitely.
If you are able to watch this movie, if you're listening to it just because you want to get an idea of what it's about, go watch it. Even if it's
definitely.
a matinee, like it's worth your $10-15. I would, if there wasn't so many movies out now that we need to see, I would go and see it again.
Yeah.
But I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I think upon further watches, it's going to climb up my list of favorite horror movies because I love the superhero genre already. Mm-hmm. So tying these worlds together this way, like, I've been waiting for this. It's amazing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. All right, without further ado, I am going to
finally do your pick.
Finally let you know what it is.
I'm so excited.
It changed today.
Yeah.
Because initially it was going to be Death House.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to save that for a further idea. Stuff we're coming up with to do little mini contents here and there. Mm-hmm. Maybe if we can come up with something to either incentivize doing bonus episodes, stuff like that. We'll get to that point. Mm-hmm. But my pick is a classic from 1979 by the Ridley Scott. And we are going to watch Alien. Oh. Have you seen OG Alien?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Just making sure. Because it was either going to be that or Overlord. And I'm like, Overlord we can get to. Yeah. But Alien...
It's a classic.
I know it's a franchise. It's franchisey. We kind of like tend to not go with the big ones, but I mean, you started off with Nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some coming up that I want to do that are big time franchise, so I don't have a problem.
Yeah,
going
I
franchise.
think that now that we're gonna have a handful of episodes. You know, I think we can start getting into Halloween. You know, other movies. So yeah, we're gonna do. Do you have it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you own? Okay.
I got them all.
I'm gonna watch the director's cut. Just FYI.
Okay.
Because I think I bought the 30th or 40th anniversary big book.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So yeah. Today is the 10th, which means the next episode will drop June 24th, and that will be episode 5, Alien.
Can't wait.
And so.
Thanks for joining us.
And thanks again. Real quick before we do get going, because I know Justin's got to get out of here. I wanted to do 2 quick shout outs real quick for iTunes reviews. So we have one from Foxhound13 left on iTunes. It was a 5-star. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
We need the ratings and the reviews, whatever.
The more the better.
Exactly. And so thank you. And so what Foxhound said was, from a non-horror fan buff, it's great, in all caps. So I don't watch a whole lot of horror movies and such, but these 2 brought out some movies I'd never heard of and has me intrigued to watch them. I like their thoughts and ideas on all things horror, and it provides some information I didn't know from production of some of these horror movie classics. So thank you, Foxhound13.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And then our second review is from Archero6, which is a friend of mine on Twitch. He said, I've listened to everything to date, and I love the show. The guys work great off each other, and I can't wait for more shows. I highly recommend everyone give it a try. Thank you very much, Archero. Yeah. I really appreciate that.
Definitely.
And again, you can find us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page if you want to hang out there. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter at Gore_pod. You can email us, anything. Like I will, I'm very responsive.
Yeah.
I'm quick to the response. I'm more the social media guy. And then I relay things back and forth with Justin. So we're easy to get a hold of.
Yeah. And we want the conversations to start and keep going, get you guys involved as much as we can.
Right.
So.
And the more people that we can get involved, the more that I can rope Justin into social stuff.
True.
So, but yeah, you can find us on, it's Gore_pod on Instagram and Twitter, podandgore@gmail.com, just anything, everything, whatever you want to do. And until next time, I've been Brandon.
And I've been Justin.
Thank you. And we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.